Hi, my name's Greg Marcham. I'm the Managing Director and founder of Yellowbrick, and I'm 42 years young.
Hi, I'm Steve Perkins. I'm Managing Director at Yellowbrick Mortars and I'm 37 years old.
So the making of YBM and where it all started, I suppose it started in my mind quite some years before it actually paid any dividends, but there's probably some fundamental days that I remember that really did start that movement forward and actually making what was potentially a dream into a reality.
So the making of YBM was primarily born in a car, on a car journey. There was a long day in Milton Keynes where we were hearing the vision of the year ahead from our previous employer.
I remember one day in particular, we'd gone down for a day's training in Milton Keynes for my previous employer. I say we, Steve and I.
And ultimately a lot of the things didn't sit well with myself and Greg in terms of we lost the belief, I believe, of the belief in what we were having to report and what we were having to portray and the message we were having to give on behalf of the company.
The day's training was all about how the business was moving forward. There was a lot of talk in relation to what had gone particularly well, what wasn't going particularly well. I'd found the day quite challenging in respect of some of the viewpoints that were coming out. I didn't necessarily feel that the viewpoints that were being expressed across the room reflected particularly well on the business as an entirety, and certainly didn't help the people that I was working with on the ground level, at consultant level, and also to some degree the clients themselves.
And I believe after about 10 minutes of driving in silence, after a meeting we both left feeling a little bit dejected from, that Greg said to me that he felt his future wasn't there anymore.
I remember getting back into the car, a bit of silence as Steve drove off, thinking, really feel a bit strange about all this, so and what is it I really want to do, and I suppose one of those thoughts came out, and I remember just saying to Steve, I think I've probably had my time here. I think I'm probably out, I think I need to move on.
Of which I said, yeah, I'm having the same thoughts and it sounds like a good idea that we should do something, because I don't believe that this is the future for either of us, and there's certainly a much better way we can do this for the customer, and it'd be nicer to work for ourselves.
We wanted something that I suppose we weren't necessarily going to get with the previous employer. We wanted something that was focused around primarily the client, and subsequently not about a number, so not being a number ourselves and not being a number in respect of the results that we deliver. So we were relatively fortunate. We had a successful region, so actually we didn't come under the cosh greatly, but I think at the point where some of the conversations were happening, it was prevalent that actually I don't think I would have felt that we could ever put the client as the primary priority in the environment that I was then working in. It was certainly much more about us hitting a number than it was actually the experience the clients had.
After that, many conversations were taken over a period of months to discuss what that would look like, and the journey went from there. But I definitely remember that car journey as being where it all began.
When we first started up YBM, I was scared. I'd come from a very good, very well-paid job. I'd been reasonably successful in what I'd been doing for a long period of time. I suppose my biggest fear was being able to support my family. So, and there's a lot of us, so the liability fell on my shoulders, and I certainly had 3 months worth of sleepless nights. So we left on what was in real terms a pipe dream looking back. So, that pipe dream has actually then ended up delivering something probably far beyond what we expected.
It was obviously a very nervous time, very nerve-wracking time, as it's taking a big leap of faith that you can make it work, and leaving any sort of guaranteed salary role to go self-employed and set something up with no referrers, no lead source, no estate agency backing, just the two of us, was a big step, very big step. And it wasn't one we took lightly. We gave it a lot of thought before doing so, and would never look back now, but it was certainly nerve-wracking in the first few months of doing it, in the first few weeks.
Steve and I discussed it at the point where we were ready to both make that move, and I think we had some ideas about what YBM would look like in 12, 24 months, 60 months longer term, and actually it's just been the polar opposite maybe of what we expected, but in a positive way.
So much happier now because not doing it for a big corporate, doing it for ourselves is really, really important, and also doing it more for the customer, so actually helping people rather than just hitting numbers, and helping the local community and giving back. It's really rewarding to have all those things come together under one banner that you've created, and gives a lot of pride to as well. Lifestyle wise, I'm at home a lot more, so get to spend a lot more time with my wife in around the work. Financially we're better off, so we have more freedom and more flexibility there, less financial pressures. My wife's managed to reduce her hours on her other job, and earn an income from the business as well. So it's given her a better life-work balance as well.
He's so much more happier. He's more enthusiastic about his job. He's not doing targets. He's not dealing with corporate individuals, which he's quite capable of doing, but it's his own stress, if you will, and he does enjoy it a lot.
It's changed a lot. So generally I would be up previous to YBM at 6 o'clock in the morning and out probably by 7. So I'd largely come home certainly late at night, 9, 10 o'clock in the evening. So my family life was impaired quite significantly, I would suggest. Probably some of the reason why I ended up choosing to go with and set up Yellow Brick Mortgages is to try and get a better balance, see my children a lot more, and I think that's certainly something that has been evident over the last few years, where my children recognise me when they see me now, which is always a good sign, and so that's really, really helped our family environment to actually get a little bit more out of that and support Leanne, my partner, with obviously the number of children we have.
Since Greg started at YBM, we've had a much better work-life balance. He's around more to help out with the children. We also have foster children, so he's there to help out with the foster children. It means that he's able to go and spend quality time with the children and with myself. We have a lot more days out together. He's also just generally happier in himself, a lot less confined within a kind of corporate role model. So yeah, it's just been a lot better all round, really.
Hi, I'm Callum Marchant. I'm 11 years old.
Hi, I'm Louis Marchant and I'm 8 years old.
Yellow Brick Mortgages sponsors my football team.
Yellow Brick Mortgages sponsors my rugby team.
Since Daddy's been at Yellow Brick Mortgages, he's got to spend time with us and take us to the skate park.
I'm really proud of my dad.
When we first had the idea of setting up YBM, we thought it'd be good if we could get, in the end of year 1, maybe up to 5 or 6 brokers working with us, maybe a couple of estate agent referrers, and just have a profitable business. That was really the initial goal when we first set up. It wasn't any grander than that. But we found out really within 3 months we'd already exceeded that first year target.
Yeah, exceeded for sure. So my expectations personally as well, about how I feel about going to work these days. So it doesn't feel like I'm going to work, if I'm honest. I enjoy every part of it. Pretty much all the consultants I've worked with for a large degree of time before. It is like working with your best friends, so which is really pleasant. The fact there's no targets means that ultimately the only pressure you put on yourself is your own. That pressure can sometimes be, I suppose, possibly worse than targets, because actually you're accountable and responsible for ensuring somebody else's dream comes to life in respect of buying a residential home or a buy-to-let or a commercial premises. So, but I really enjoy bringing that through to fruition.
We always try and make sure that we keep reasonable goals and set ourselves targets that are achievable in terms of our growth and our development. But ultimately we want that to be organic as well. We want it to be through reputation, through word of mouth, rather than necessarily paid advertising and things like that. We'd rather do it through reputation.